Hello and welcome back to Mine Mogul. In the last episode I finished this factory area that produces iron plates and rods and would also produce ingots, but I'm currently not producing ingots because I don't need any more for the last 3 quests. This factory is centralized and it also equals out the amount of resources that are being produced, so that when I start the last quest, the Mine Mogul quest, I get 5,000 ingots, plates and rods at an equal pace and not end up with what I have right now, like 3,000 iron plates, but not enough iron rods. So I want to avoid this. However, when I was restructuring the factory, a lot of resources landed on the ground, so this is actually an issue here. It's kind of annoying. Not entirely certain what I can do about this. I could try to clean it up, but it is just too much stuff and keeps falling everywhere. So not just here, it's also over here. There's a lot of ingots down here from when this plate rolling machine was probably at its capacity, and there's also a lot of resources on the ground over here, everywhere, and then there's also a lot of stuff in here. And this also brings me to another problem, because you can see that there's some of these crates here. A lot of crates actually. The idea to have resources packaged in this cave and then have just the packages go on this belt and enter the chute at the very end. It doesn't really work out very well because I don't know what stuff does, but it goes everywhere and not where I want it. And I can't really clean this up with all of the factory around here, so I'm not entirely certain how I can avoid this whole problem or if I can clean this up. I learned, that is actually something good, I learned that the magnet tool can actually pick up these boxes. If I switch to everything, then it works. If it's just resources in basket, then it ignores these boxes, which also means that if I would delete the resources, this does not apply to resources inside filter baskets, and this also does not apply to these boxes. So I can't even get rid of them. And like here, there's one box here. I don't know how it went here, but these keep clocking up my... that's not what I wanted. These keep clocking up my my conveyor belt. And are being messy. So I can't pick this up, right? I can only get these pipes and the ingots, but now I can. So this is quite a good piece of information, because this will help me clean up stuff later. However, I somehow, I don't really know how I can get rid of all this stuff. I might have to restructure all of this again. There's also another problem, and that's the plates. Just finished the iron quest though, but these plates, and there's too much stuff here, just falls over. Not even sure why. Yeah, this is exactly why. These plates, they're just too large for the sorting machines. Kind of super annoying. They just fall over and then they clog up everything. So I might remove this because I want to get rid of this stuff. So remove this and remove this, so stuff keeps going. Yeah, so there's another resources are stuck here. Super annoying. So they should be on this belt, but they somehow fell over, did not make it in, and now they're stuck. I'm trying to use the corner pieces for the rolling conveyors. Not sure if and how they will help. Let's give them a try. They are called work in progress. Maybe they work, maybe they don't. Find out. It means a lot of stuff falls down. We put this one here. We put one of them here, like so. We put one of them here, and then maybe I can also use a sloped conveyor to have resources go down and not fall, and then it might actually work better. I'm not entirely certain. Seems to work, but yeah, stuff is I'm not sure if it actually works, but it's pretty clear that these plates, they should not be on conveyor belts. They should just be produced and then thrown into the chute right away. Pretty much like with the pipes as well. I don't know how well pipes would behave on this conveyor belt. The boxes work very well with the corner piece, so this is actually a good piece of information, but I can't really get rid of all this stuff. If I would put the plates on any conveyor belt, then the stuff would just get stuck, and this would not really work very well. So I don't really know what to do. I guess I'm going to wait for the gold quest to finish and then tear all of this down and get rid of the resources, and then restructure stuff. And I'm also going to restructure the gold factory again. Yeah, this seems to work much better, but Of course, that's also because of the no longer sorting the plates. You can't just sort the plates, they're too large for these sorting machines. Maybe they work in the bulk sorting machines, but I'm not entirely certain. I do have a lot of ingots here that I could turn into plates, and then the plates would move up there. So maybe I should try doing this. Like so. But there's a lot of stuff. My drill bits are breaking, and I need to replace them. But my gold production keeps running. Give me these. Hope I have enough stuff in my space in my inventory. 2, 6, 7. I need 1 space in my inventory, so I'm going to sell this one. Right. So that's number 3, and there's a lot of resources on the ground that I don't really know how to get rid of, because it's just too much stuff for the factory. Already tested this off camera. So many resources, it would just mess up the this. It would even overflow like the vault conveyor belt. That's the problem. For now, it's working, which is decent, but not too large amount of resource on there. I could try to slowly throw them in here by using vault conveyors, like here, and then sloped conveyors. Alright, great. Can't even go there. Be fine still. Connect this stuff, and then I can just like throw resources on these belts, and they should get slowly be added to the machine. But this is actually a lot of stuff that's now being added, and I'm not entirely certain if the belt can handle it. No, stuff's falling on over here. Equal to what I did on the other side. Just throw it back here. So give me a corner piece and a merger. Oh, great, it's not working. Corner piece. Okay, now if this falls over here, yeah, it's being caught and then it's being brought back here, so it's going to be in an infinite loop, and there's still some stuff falling over here. This is actually a problem. Can I remove this? Let me replace this. Let me put a corner piece here. And let me put a straight piece here, and then stuff should also be added back on this belt. There's a lot of stuff here, but oh, I can actually just put it here now. That's good. Why is there gold here? Apparently gold fell in there. I'm not sure why. I guess if there's too many resources, stuff just falls down there. So that's not good. I need more conveyor belts though, so let me quickly grab more conveyor belts, and also let me grab these resources here, because there's some slack in there. There's also gold ingot in there. Not sure where this one comes from. Okay, let me grab more conveyors. I only need a few more gold plates now. I think even if I can speed up the process, I need more vault conveyors. And maybe give me all of these. You can never have enough conveyors, actually. Yeah. So if there's too many resources here, they might fall over like this piece of gold. And if this falls on this belt here, or into the ore crusher, then it is producing slack in this machine here. I don't think I can avoid this by any meaningful way, but maybe I can. Not sure if this one can handle the amount of resources. Anything else can just be dropped over here, and this should actually work, at least to a certain degree. This seems to work. Yeah, there's some gold here. No idea how the gold made it in there, but I don't need this anymore because resources should now be able to avoid the problem. However, this never stops because the polishing machine can't get rid of the slack ingot. Yeah, so I cleaned this up minutes ago, but the resources are still on this belt. They're still falling over, so it's very slowly cleaning up stuff. However, I finished the copper quest. That's only a few gold plates missing, and what I can do to speed this up is, of course, I can remove these 2 conveyor belts and get rid of this black ingot. And now all the gold ingots that are coming from here, they should all drop down into some plates, so this should speed up the plate process quite nicely. Lots of ingots here, but we can ignore these. Lots of resources here also. Just gonna start cleaning this up a bit. Game doesn't like it. Not one bit. Do I have ledgers by any chance? Yeah, ledgers. Okay, my drill bits are breaking, but I'm not going to do anything about this, because I think I should have enough stuff for the gold quest now. Okay, 11 more gold plates. I'm fairly certain that these are on the way in one of these boxes. Because this has, I don't know, an unknown. Yes, just one more missing now. One has 6, so maybe I can just throw it in, but there's one on the belt anyways. But quest finished, so let me get started with the final quest. And I'm going to start the final quest by turning off all the auto miners. So that I not only get more affairs, but also I can tear down all of this and restructure it. So let me wait for the resources to leave all the belts, because there's of course a lot of resources on the way. I can now take up all this stuff as well and throw it on here, and the game actually does not... No, it still hates it, but less. Okay, I mostly cleaned up all the resources here. It's just you left, so I don't need this anymore. This can all go on this belt here. It's just remaining stuff, so this is perfect. A lot less resources on the ground now. Clutter up my my computer and my FPS. However, most stuff that was on this belt just dropped here. So I built another one of these sorting machines. Keep getting resources on them, but just slow them down. This is actually... I think this is still working, no matter... I was wondering for a moment if this should maybe be a not walled conveyor. Maybe it's smarter to have one of these, where stuff can fall off easier. Or more easily, actually. Just do it like this, and then the resources, yeah, they have an infinite loop, and they're slowed down, and they will slowly be dropped on the spell, so that's perfect. Just going to add one corner piece here, so that they are actually on the belt and not somewhere else. I thought it is still not working because it's still too much stuff. Maybe I can add one more here. So do I have? Yeah, one more of these. That there's small space. But generally speaking, I think we're good now. So this should all be on this belt in a slow enough pace so it doesn't clog up stuff. Now we need to take care of these ingots, and this is going to be a somewhat of a problem, I guess. But I could just drop them on this belt as well, because this is now done, right? Except for, like, I don't know what you're doing. Just drop all the stuff here, and I'm going to remove this here anyways, because I don't need this anymore, and I want only ingots anyways. I'm going to talk about this in just a second, but I don't need all this stuff anymore, and I need ingots for the quest anyway, so let me just take all this stuff, throw it on here, and that should be fine. So that's good. Stuff's on this belt now. We don't need this anymore. This can all go. There's some stuff here. A lot of plates, and I want to get rid of all these plates. Just going to put the plates here. Goodbye. Not sure what they're going to do. I don't care for now. So, because of how poorly this works here. So there's some stuff on the ground, but that's fine. But like the sorting of the plates, it doesn't work very well, and because these boxes, they got stuck everywhere, I think it's better to produce ingots somewhere, and then have all the ingots go as close as possible to the chute, then have the ingots split up, and only then have them be produced into... I mean, rods, they are okay on the belts, but plates, they're not, and pipes, they're also not, so this here was actually very good, but generally speaking, I want to avoid having resources or having products go too far. I just want to have ingots come into this cave and then being processed. So that's what I meant when I said I don't want to have plates in the other cave anymore. And because of all the plates here, you actually probably get why. Let me get started on this whole endeavor, and this means I'm going to remove everything that's in here and restructure large parts of the factory, as well as I did with the gold production. Okay, so I removed most of the structures in this cave, and you can see how much stuff's on the ground lying here, so you can imagine how messy this whole stuff was in here, or the whole factory was. I kept some of the belts and some of the auto miners. I actually removed, I think, 1 or 2 of them. But there's also something else I want to talk about, and that's these are the gems that are kept and are saved, and I want to see how much stuff this actually is. I'm not going to throw them all in there. I'm going to be very lazy and have just some belts here. Carry all this stuff in. Well, I think that's reasonable. Because I have to clean up this stuff as well, so yeah. Don't really care too much carrying all this stuff over. There's some stuff here that can go. Boxes. More boxes over here. So, more stuff. More stuff. A lot of slack that somehow was produced. Not entirely certain. Some rods. I'm not entirely certain where all this stuff comes from, but yeah, it was probably on the belt. As well, there's some unpolished gems, but I don't care. And then we'll see how many rubies I actually have, and how many more I need to produce. But I already have like 300, 400. That's perfect, because that means I don't have to worry about these too much. I can concentrate on producing coal, or not producing coal, but throwing in the coal into the chute directly. So I'm only missing 11 apparently. There's one, but it's probably not polished. So that is very, very good. Let me quickly clean up this whole mine here. It should not take too long. Give me some of these locked ones. And I could try to polish all the gems, but I don't really care. There's so much stuff here anyways. This is working now. Okay, okay, okay. It is very messy, but it's also very satisfying to get rid of all this stuff that was clogging up all of my game. So much stuff even behind the auto miners. I think we have everything except for what fell over, but we can clean this up too very easily. Okay. Right to this stuff. So these are the remaining resources. I think I have it all now. Some more stuff on the ground. Okay, whatever. Here on the ground. Currently there's still 600 items. I don't need this anymore. Of course, this includes, I guess at least, items that are just in a basket. Those are fine. Not sure where these items would be on the ground though, but I have an idea where it could be. Because I guess there's a lot of stuff down here. Oh, it's just 1 ingot, 2 ingots. More resources here. Obviously there's a lot of stuff here. Okay, there's also ruby, nice. Go buy resources. Okay, it's still 600, but the resources are on their way, so I guess this is the last larger part of resource that I have. Only issue is now... yeah, there's a ruby. Just put it here, polish it, and then it can go into a box. And the problem is that the boxes are not going anywhere. So all these resources, they're not going anywhere. They're just going to be dropped here somewhere. Maybe that's also not very good. Quickly replace this auto miner and also turn it off, because they are turned on by default, even if you use the turn off all of them function. So let's do this. Come on. Okay. Okay, these are the last resources, I guess. Last larger pile of resources. They will all move up here, and then they can go on this new belt construction that I made, and then they can go away into the chute, and I'm get rid of them. There's some stuff here, but just minor resource. I'm not sure why you're not moving, and I'm not sure why this stuff's still here, but goodbye for now. So I'm only missing 6 rubies. That's perfect. Okay, so these are the last resources, I believe. That's perfect. And now I have to think about what I want to do. I want to connect all the auto miners in this cave, have the resources be sorted by one of the vertical boat sorters, and then be turned into ingots. I want to have the ingots turned into the products, but only very close to here. I'm not entirely certain how I'm going to do this. Oh, that should be fine. Okay, so let me first remove all these, because I don't need them anymore, I hope. Okay, so I removed everything. Great. I do have 1 auto miner, 2 auto miners that I removed accidentally. Let's turn them off. Can I go through here? That's actually a question I had before. I figured that I can't go through here with the crates because this is a bit messy, but I think ingots could go through here just fine. So what I could do, I could have all the resources from this cave go over here into this corner, be turned into ingots, and then have the ingots go through here and be added to somewhere, I guess. But what I would need is I would need 3 blast furnaces at least. I had 3 in this cave, so I think 3 would be good. 1 for copper, 2 for iron. And then I need to get polished, right? So they need to get polished. It's probably better to use these anyways. Once they're polished, they merge with the resource that I had before. And if they're slack, then they should go around anyways. Actually, I'm not sure why you're using roller converse here. Corner piece, yes. So this should be fine. Okay, so how do I get the resource in here? I think I need one of these to split the iron resources equally. Just do it like this. Sounds somewhat reasonable, although counterintuitive maybe. And I think there might be too many resources, so maybe these should be walled. And then we have copper fall in from this side. So the middle one does copper, the other two do like the other ingots, so that's good. That means I do corner piece here. I do slopes here, like this. So give me the vertical bulk sorter that I definitely bought. There it is. Let's place this one here. Iron takes this route, copper takes this route, and the coal and the gems, they take this route. I could upgrade this one to a rapid auto miner, because then these can be walled. So if I do it like this, I can place a rapid auto miner here. I can get myself the hardnet drill bit. This one. Great. Forgot that I need to crush the resources when they fall down here. Rethink it again, but this, I could just do it like this. Maybe have one ore crusher here, have one ore crusher here. Can I have the bulk sorter on top like this? Because this should actually work. Not terrible. Actually means that nothing could fall through. This is a bit of a problem here because I'm not entirely certain if resources might fall over on this belt. Can I avoid this? Maybe it's better to place these here. And if we do it like this, then yeah, nothing should actually miss. One of these here now, like this. This should now work. Not doing anything, of course, because stuff is not being sorted. Just learned that this doesn't work here. Stuff merge here, turn here. Place a walled one here so we're in the clear, and then we can go further in this direction. And I am fairly certain I just can turn here. Doesn't work, but I can do corner. So, and then we have resources on this belt here. Gems, copper, ingots. So that's great. Okay, let's me quickly continue this. So okay, this is actually okay. And now that I'm thinking about it, so there's resources here, there's some resources from here, and there's also resources coming from here. And I could add all these resources and just throw them into this bulk sorter and on this belt, because from there should only be ingots. It's currently rods, but there will be coming ingots from there. And they can be on this belt here too, so this is actually not a terrible idea. But this is the resources from here. Okay, I keep rethinking of what I want to do, but this is... Okay, so these resources come here, these resources turn here, like so, and then they go on this belt, under this belt. Resources will be here, and maybe we just rearrange most of this stuff. Okay. Merge them here, like this. I have this stuff go up here. And now we're talking. Okay, so this does work. These resources are coming here, and then we just do it like this. Just use the normal conveyors here. I think they should be able to handle all these resources. Although, maybe, well, they should be able to handle 2 auto miners at least. So I think they should be able to handle 2 auto miners worth of resources. I also think they should be able to handle 3 auto miners worth of resources. 4, I'm not sure, but actually I think they should be. And now let's just turn this one on, turn this one on. These are all the normal ones. We should not clog up this belt. Yeah, it looks fine. That's not too much stuff, so turn them all off again. Great. Iron is on this side. I don't have any copper, but there's some crushed iron here. Good. Now we have one ingot, and give me this ingot, throw it in here, and yeah. Good. Okay, this works just fine. I need to have the resources from over here and from here be added to this, but I can easily do this. Okay, so this drops down here, but it will miss the belt unless I use the things I haven't used at all. And that's the hopper. No, it's the chute. Actually, here, their own category. Top angle chute. A cover for connecting an angle splitter chute to a straight chute. This one might be the one I need, or maybe I need one of these. Top chute. I wonder if it's one of these. And maybe some of these. Let's see how they work. I got this, I got this. I got this lower one, and if I put it here, stuff should just drop on the belt, so that makes a lot of sense to me. Then I have, this is the top one, right? This is the top chute, so stuff could fall in here, but what would happen if I use this one? I don't think I can use this one here, can I? No, I don't think this works. So this one has two models, but I think this is the right one. Stuff falls in here. This is the bottom chute. I don't need the... I could use the bottom chute here, I guess. So stuff can fall out again. And then I have the normal chutes in here. 1, 2, 3. So this should work. So let's connect here, and this stuff probably... Can the stuff turn here? No, of course not. So I hope that this works, because there will be a lot of resources here. Maybe it's better to wall some of these in. But the problem is, of course, the same with this auto miner, but I can actually avoid this whole ordeal that I have by using a rapid auto miner here. Yeah, the gem chance is so low I don't care, and then I can stay walled, which is much better. And I'm fairly certain that this is not too many resources here, and we should be fine. Disconnect all the resources from this cave. Right? Wrong. What about these? And some of these. And I need machine hardened drill bit. .mag. Okay, so this is the top chute. Probably needs to be there. I'm not entirely certain. I need to go up and check. Now falls down here, and then it can fall over like so and emerge. Okay, looks a lot like this is working. There's a lot of coal and copper coming now, and the resource I have in my magnet needs to be thrown in here, like this. Come on. I would like to have these ledges 1, 2, and then toggle and never be bothered by them again. And let me turn off the auto miners again. Turn off all the auto miners so that this stuff stops here. Copper ingot. Again with the take. Toggle. So this is working perfectly. So all the resources from this cave, they are now all on this belt, and they're going to go into the other cave where they're being sorted. So this is working perfectly. However, I'm going to end this episode for now. If you enjoyed it, like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, complain about me in the comment section.